Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Sci. Juggernaut. Thanks to both his history in X-Men comics and the character in the 2000s live-action movies, Juggernaut is warmly seen by fans as a classic villain of the mutant superhero team. Unlike other characters in this corner of the Marvel Universe, though, Cain Marko gained the physical powers as the Juggernaut through the Crimson Gem of Cyttorak. Nonetheless, they granted him the body of a muscle-bound behemoth to complement his hatred for Charles Xavier and his X-Men. Juggernaut is strong enough as is from a standing start, but he becomes a meta-human wrecking ball when he gathers enough momentum. He's even more daunting of a figure given his durability and resistance to mystical and mental attacks. Apocalypse. Apocalypse is another one of fans' favorite X-Men villains, and his history in Marvel Comics has forced the titular superhero team into desperate measures. Being cited as the world's first mutant, Apocalypse has waged wars and laid waste to entire civilizations through the influence of his physical strength and unforgiving warrior-centric philosophy. He has a myriad of metahuman and supernatural powers, but his raw strength alone is enough to be pitted against the strongest of mutants as well as Thor and Hulk. Due to Apocalypse's seemingly endless reserve of stamina, his superhuman strength can carry him through battles of attrition, and the threat he poses often forces the likes of Magneto and Professor X to call temporary truce to stop him. Thanos. He's an obvious fan-favorite villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and his original version in the comic book source material is also a massive threat. Thanos' most famous story arc from the comics was Jim Starlin's The Infinity Gauntlet series in 1981. That story saw the Mad Titan attempt to gather all 6 Infinity Gems in an attempt to impress the Marvel Universe's physical manifestation of death known as Mr. Death. Without the gems, he still possesses incredible physical strength and combat prowess that will let him go one-on-one with the likes of Thor and the Hulk. Hela. As the Asgardian goddess of death and ruler of hell, Hela naturally has imposing supernatural abilities ranging from matter generation to necromancy. Even still, her physical attributes are enough to be more than a match for the sturdiest of the Avengers, while she doesn't quite reach the power of crushing Mjolnir. Like Cate Blanchett's live-action iteration, Hela is already stronger than the average Asgardian on sheer strength, and she has even fended off Thor, which is by default an incredible metric of strength given the feats the God of Thunder is capable of. Her ruthless nature and combat experience make Hela a worthy adversary, though removing her cloak significantly weakens her. Galactus. Though typically considered a Marvel villain most powerful on cosmic levels, Galactus also boasts a commanding physical presence with the strength to boot. After his home universe was destroyed, he turned into Galactus and became one of the most near-invisible known beings across the cosmos. To sustain himself, he has to consume entire worlds and enlists his heralds to travel the universe in search of more food. But even when he's at his physical weakest, he holds the strength to push around planets whole. That level of strength has seen him hold his own against 4 members of the Celestials in hand-to-hand combat. Gorr the God Butcher. While Christian Bale's excitingly unsettling depiction of him in Thor: Love and Thunder was considered underused, Gorr the God Butcher is a suitably ominous threat in the comics. One of the ways to write a great villain is to make him sympathetic, and Gorr was written effectively this way in Jason Aaron's run on Thor: God of Thunder. He lived on a desolate planet neglected by the gods, was exiled by his tribe, and has his daughter and wife killed. This sparked a quest for vengeance against the Pantheon, taking up the symbiote-infused all-black the Necro Sword, and managed to lead a galaxy-wide slaughter of several gods and nearly took Thor himself down through combat prowess. Abomination. A naturally shared villain between Hulk and She-Hulk, Abomination is a classic Marvel villain, a foil to Bruce Banner, and more than a physical match for both heroes. He's one of the stronger monster villains in the publisher's comics, and he generally has the same physical boons that the gamma radiation accident gave to Banner Hulk, but also breathes underwater due to his amphibian-like form. Even though the legs of the Hulk have been beaten, Abomination more often than not, to even beat him a handful of times and at least pose him a true test of strength in hand-to-hand combat is enough to rocket the villain's physical power ranking. Onslaught. Within the X-Men, Professor Charles Xavier and Magneto are two of the most powerful and recognizable faces of the beloved superhero team. Their powers are astronomically high, and Magneto especially has a strong physical build, but both of these characters' strengths lie within the mind. However, the darker natures of Professor X and Magneto's minds combine to create a horrific powerhouse known as Onslaught. In a battle between the X-Men and the Acolytes, Charles rendered Magneto catatonic to stop him, but the latter's darker machinations slipped into the former's subconscious. Onslaught combines the psychic powers of both characters on top of extreme physical prowess, so much so that the legs of Juggernaut can be easily battered. The Mangog. One of the more bizarre monster villains in Marvel Comics, the Mangog is a relentless beast whose presence is defined by raw and immense brutish strength fueled by vitriol, and like other villains with incredible physical strength in the Marvel Universe, the Mangog's power bolsters his ranking for being an almost indomitable foe for not just like the likes of Thor, but even with the combined efforts of him, his father Odin, and Jane Foster's mighty Thor. The Mangog is a beast that serves as the physical manifestation of the hatred between the billions of beings killed by Odin. His power is so great that it not only takes a colossal team effort to bring him down, but also strategic ingenuity and cosmic level help. Surtur. Yet another Thor villain, the Norse fire giant Surtur is a being with physical and magical strength that makes it near impossible to get a grasp of his full power level. Magical abilities aside, Surtur is a literal massive threat as he stands at over 1,000 feet tall and has the physique to complement that. He's capable of physically destroying entire galaxies, as he demonstrated with Beta Ray Bill's homeworld to get the materials needed to forge his Twilight Sword. Even putting together that weapon is a feat of strength in and of itself, and defeating Surtur often comes down to deceiving or capturing him rather than hand-to-hand combat, something even Ragnarok depicted. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.